What's the first thing you think of when you hear the word cancer?
Horror, pain, misery.
Do you personally have experience, whether it be yourself or family or friends, of someone being diagnosed with cancer?
The worst experience of my life was my mother dying of cancer. And seeing what she goes through, and I'm a physician, by the way, and having to be the one to carry the burden on my shoulder for the family and for her, knowing what was going to happen, and then having to give hope to everyone while knowing, in fact, there was very, very much pointing in one direction.
What kind of cancer was it?
She had ovarian cancer.
Did you know statistically 1 in 2 people will be diagnosed with cancer in their lifetime?
You know, I didn't know the numbers exactly, but there's some very common cancers. I certainly know breast cancer in America, 1 in 10, 9, 11, depending on how you look at it. Colon cancer is so popular. Certain skin cancer is all over the place, so it's not a shocking number to me.
Yeah, it's crazy. What do you think the stigma of cancer is?
I think people are afraid to deal with other people who have cancer, and that's a real shame because those people need other people more in their lives, all the more. And this could be terminal, or even if it's not, you need a support system. I know some amazing stories where people are all together in it, but there are people who are not as modern about it and don't understand it because people are afraid of death and they're afraid of disease, and they kind of want to. We live a very sanitized life, unfortunately, and it applies to a lot of things, but certainly when it comes to medicine and disease. I mean, we put our old people away because they get sickly and they are hard to be with and they might smell funny and they're hard to deal with. And we basically farm it out. It's a terrible thing, but that's the nature of our world.
I appreciate your insight and you taking the time to explain that to me. My last question, do you think by looking at someone, you can tell if they've been diagnosed with cancer or no?
Absolutely not. 1,000% not. I would never judge anyone in one of a million different ways, and certainly not with a medical disease. I mean, people walking past me all the time, I can't tell if they have high blood pressure or they have something that's hidden. Absolutely not.
Yeah, so my name is Will Wise, and I'm actually a stage 4 cancer patient myself. And I'm on a mission to help change the stigma associated with cancer.
That's very substantial what you're doing, and the closest cancer in terms of time, temporally, for us is a good friend of mine and his wife. His wife had a basically death sentence with a very atypical multiple myeloma, which is a very specific bone marrow, bone type cancer. And they're coming up with these miracle cures, and she has fought back in a million different ways, taking charge of it as much as she possibly